What up, YouTube? World Renowned Heretic here. Just got back from the Bounders Cross pre-release. Going to go over the deck that I've been waiting to build, and to a surprising extent, on my part alone, was able to actually pick all this stuff up today. So without further ado, here's the deck. The first card is actually a tech. It's Landorus EX. If you're wondering about any of this stuff, I did not pull any of these really good cards from Bounders Crossed. I had to trade for them all. Anyway, I was running Stunfisk from Dragons Exalted, replaced it with this.
Seems good.
I like it. 3 Keldeo EX. I do have a 4th one. Just in case I want to try 4. Honestly, I don't really think it's necessary right now. We'll see where it goes. 1 Kyurem. Spread. I know Landorus can do the same. Also, Outrage is kind of a neat ability to have, and it's not an EX, so it's another alternate way to hit Sigilyph, which brings me to my main non-EX and my engine. Blastoise, 3 Blastoise, 1 Wartortle, 4 Squirtle. Blastoise, obviously his ability, Deluge, basically Rain Dance from the old Blastoise, except you can go on to anything, not just water types.
Why don't you tell your viewers why you're not playing 4 Blastoise?
Really, the consistency of the deck, I don't feel like I need 4. I don't, you have your 1 Super Rod. I try to play as aggressively as possible. I try not to attack with Blastoise at all. Obviously, if I run up against like a Sigilyph or something, then I usually will try to make an effort. But aside from the fact that it needs 4 energy just to attack, it becomes a bit of a liability.
And especially since you probably don't play DCE.
No, I don't. No deuces in here.
Anyways,
onto the trainers, we have a A-Spec Computer Search. I don't see any A-Spec card at the current time possibly even coming close to being as good as this.
No.
Gold Potion, the only other splashable one's just
no,
not in here. I don't really honestly see any deck that would use it, except for maybe Hydreigon, but even then I'd Computer Search. 2 Energy Retrievals. I'm thinking about making this 3 Energy Retrievals. I love this card. Its Ultra Ball becomes a discard 1 instead of a discard 2. When a Keldeo overloaded with energy dies, or Kyurem or anything, pull it back. It also allows me to run Landorus with only 1 fighting energy, even though that means I can never use its second attack. I'm okay with that. 1 Energy Search, because some of the cards in the deck, like Skyla, basically it allows me to get an energy with it. Also, again, I run 1 fighting energy, so it's an easy way to get it out of the deck. Blast from the Past, 2+ powers. Old school Rain Dance decks from 1999, which was a favorite of mine back then. Always ran 4. Now, you don't really need to. Keldeo does a ton of damage, but because it's an odd-numbered amount of damage on even-numbered EXs like Darkrai, it's important to be able to get that 1 shot and not leave him with 10 HP to be able to max potion.
What's that shiny thing in your hand there?
This?
Yeah.
I've got 4 gold rare, or not gold rare, this is not Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm sorry. 4 shiny or gold Pokemon catchers. 4 catchers, pretty much a given.
Yeah.
There's not much question there.
I don't know.
It's the best non-A-Spec, at the very least, best non-A-Spec item card. Probably the best item card in the game, hands down.
Most devastating item card, that is.
And most irritating when you're trying to set up. 4 rare candies. Blastoise.
Self-explanatory.
Wartortle. Yeah, you get it. Sometimes you have to discard them. I want to max out the chance that I can get Blastoise out on turn 2. 1 Super Rod. Usually that's not for the energies. That's why I have Retrievals and Energy Search. Usually it's for the Pokemon. If I have to discard stuff, the evolutions, if stuff dies, you get it. 2 Super Scoop Ups. This is especially helpful when you have to overload a Keldeo to get a knockout, especially if you're hitting, like if you had a Darkrai or something, if you're getting all their energy off the field at one time, or another Keldeo in the mirror match. This is something where, although you're depending on a coin flip, which sucks, the effect is outstanding, and you can just turn around and use Blastoise to drop all the energy. So definitely worth 2 slots in my deck.
Seems legit.
One Tool Scrapper. I really don't worry about Eviolite a ton, but it is nice to get rid of that. Really, this is for the Garbodor matchup. Because Garbodor's a pain in the ass. He takes away Deluge, and he takes away Russian. And Russian is the reason I do not run Switch.
You have absolutely no reason to.
No.
And you have Super Scoop Up in case they lock you with...
yeah, Super Scoop Up kind of acts as...
a Switch.
A really bad Switch. 3 Ultra Ball. This would be 4, but we have Computer Search. Kind of acts as the 4th one, and it can get anything. I'm definitely a fan. Next, we got 4 Ns.
I have a question.
Yes?
What's your thoughts on Level Ball?
Honestly,
I could see a
one Wartortle. I only run 1 copy because of 4 candies. 4 Squirtles. I like it being the 1-for-1, but with a massive supporter lineup that I'm about to show, plus Computer Search, 3 Ultra Ball, more often than not, it's just either it's not going to search me what I need, or
there's not much it can.
There's not much it can search. It's just the Squirtles and then the 1 Wartortle.
And once you're set up, you don't exactly need.
Yeah,
Squirtle.
And you really don't want to go for the Wartortle. You want to go for the rare candy. Anyway, as I was saying, 4 Ns. Really good early game if you don't want to discard a lot of stuff you have in hand. Really good late game. Get your opponent down to 1 or 2 cards. It's happened to me just yesterday. I know what it feels like. It's not fun. Unless, of course, you rip a Juniper. Speaking of that, 4 Professor Junipers. Even with all the recently released and announced supporters in the OCG as well, I still believe this is the best supporter in the game. That includes Getsus, Colress, you name it. In my personal opinion, this is still the best.
Because it's 7 fresh cards, and you're probably not going to draw anything.
It's an old school Professor Oak in supporter form, and times change, things change. Can't live in the past, but honestly, there's nothing that comes close. You will never redraw the same cards, which is really a big thing for me. 3 Skylos to round out the supporter lineup and the trainer lineup as well. Search catcher, search rare candies, search computer search to get anything. Search Ultra Ball if you don't have comp search to get something for your Blastoise line. Search energy retrieval, pretty big. Search energy search, which will give you
an energy
card. Search plus power. Search pretty much whatever you need. There's not a card in this deck that cannot search for by virtue of another card at the very least. Next, we have the 1 fighting energy that I mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It's for Landorus EX, obviously. And then we have our water energies, which I have not been able yet to unify. These are the ones I'd like to use, but for now, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Random 3 common water energies.
Yep, because I ran out of league plays and Diamond and Pearl ones. So 14 water, 15 energies may seem like a lot, especially when they're all basic energies, but it's been pretty consistent for the most part.
When you're playing really explosive Keldeo, you need those energies.
Well, you really do, and you want to make sure, because sometimes Keldeo will take 7 or 8 energies in order to be able to knock something out.
I have a question for our viewers, probably our viewers are asking. What do you think of Town Map in this, and what would you think of playing maybe 2 fighting energy?
I've definitely given the thought to a second fighting. I still wouldn't be aiming to do Land's Judgment, Landorus' second attack, all that often, but it would be conceivably possible. Also, if one gets prized, which is the other reason that, like you said, Town Map. Honestly, Landorus, it's not going to get stuck very often because, obviously the Garbodor matchup is a problem there, and that's something to consider. But Keldeo can get it out of the active slot, and on top of that, it's not the focal point of the deck. Town Map, second fighting energy, for the same reason, really. I like the ideas. Right now, I'm just trying to go with the core and make it as consistent as possible. As I test, as time goes on, I'll probably tinker with it a little bit, especially locally, and see if I can come up with the best build possible for major tournaments.
All right. Well, that is Blastoise Keldeo, guys.
Yep. And
comments down below, of course.
All of this stuff. It was a pretty frustrating but successful day in the end. Yeah. There you go. This is World Heretic signing out.
I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. Far away. Ricochet, you take your aim. Fire